Today I'm going to be reviewing some of the best new drivers for 2021, and they are the COBRA RADSPEED drivers. Now we have three models to choose from: the RADSPEED, the RADSPEED XB and the RADSPEED XD. In this video I'm going to detail the differences between these three models, let you know which one might be the best fit for your game, talk you through all the technology that's packed into these club heads, let you know how we've gone while testing out in the golf course, and also when I compared the RADSPEED with the Speed Zone drivers, just to let you know how far COBRA has come along in the last year. Plus, I'm going to let you know the key reason why I think COBRA will continue to be incredibly popular in 2021. But a little bit more on that later in the video. First off, if you're new to our YouTube channel, please hit the subscribe button below, give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments and I'll get back to you. Now, I think it's fair to say that the RADSPEED has probably the oddest name of any driver since TaylorMade released the Rocket Balls. It's a name I'm not too keen on, I have to say, but it actually stems from the key technology within these club heads, and that is radial weighting. Now, a little bit of background on this. When the engineers at COBRA were designing this new driver, they looked at something called the Radius of Gyration. Now, this equation, in layman's terms, is the distance between the centre of mass, the CG location, and the key technologies, the heavy things within the golf club, you know, either the face or some of the sole weights. And they thought, how can we get a driver that's going to deliver, you know, a forward CG placement for low spin, lots of ball speed, but also we want high MOI, we want high launch, so we don't want that CG pushed too far close to the face. It was all about trying to find that perfect sweet spot of driver design, and radial weighting was how they were able to achieve that. So we have two fixed 8-gram weights, as you can see, right up close to the face, and we also have an 8-gram weight in the back, similar to what we saw with the Speedback and Speed Zone drivers. Now, the only reason why COBRA was able to put these fixed weights in place was the advancements they've made in their chassis and also the carbon fibre crown technology and carbon fibre sole. So we have a thinner carbon fibre throughout this driver. It's just saving more weight. The T-bar chassis has been readjusted to allow for more carbon fibre, and that's just freed up discretionary weight, which allowed them to create these radial weights, these fixed weights within the club head. Now, what that, you know, as I said, what this has allowed COBRA to do is really try and find that perfect sweet spot. High launch, low spin, plenty of speed, but also good levels of forgiveness. Such a hard thing to achieve with driver design. Also, as you can see, we have the CNC milled infinity face. This is a technology that we saw in the Speed Zone drivers last year. COBRA just saying they've just tweaked this that little bit more to make it, you know, even faster across the entire face, make it more consistent, give you more ball speed and more forgiveness on your miss hits. Also, here with the standard RADSPEED model, you can see we have adjustable weights. You have a 12-gram one and a 2-gram one, and that just allows you to dial in your ball flight a bit more, adjust those launch conditions, get the golf ball doing what you want it to do through the air. The final piece of the puzzle is COBRA's Fly8 technology in the hosel. That just allows you to, again, give you that added depth of adjustability, and that's the club head really ticked off. That's everything you need to know about the technology within this club head. And yeah, it's just, as COBRA say, discovering that this radius of gyration by really working closely with that and discovering that they could use this radial weighting has allowed them, they say, to deliver their perfect driver, something that doesn't have any trade-offs. Now on to the RADSPEED XB, and this is COBRA's easiest to hit, highest launching, most forgiving of the three options. Yeah, it's just going to be an absolute piece of cake to hit off the tee. Key differences are that the radial weighting has changed a little bit. Instead of two 8-gram weights close to the face, we now have two 4-gram weights, and we have a much heavier 14-gram weight in the back. We also don't have the interchangeable weights. Instead, we have a fixed weight in the back here. Now that can be adjusted for swing weight purposes, but this is, all that weight is pushed much further back in the golf club, just increasing the level of MOI, putting that CG a little bit lower and further back, and yeah, just making it really long, but really, really easy to hit, really user-friendly. Now, the third one in the lineup, I don't have it here with me today, is the RADSPEED XD, and as you might have guessed, it's the draw model within the option. The radial weighting and the weighting within the golf club, it's just been adjusted to try and promote a draw for you. Just, if you struggle with a slice, it's going to help you correct that. So really, for the first time from COBRA, we have three options that really cover off every type of golfer. You know, the XD is going to be really forgiving, really easy to hit as well, but just give, as I say, you know, those of you who really struggle with that left to right ball flight, just help you find some more fairways. A few other key differences are the fact that with the RADSPEED, we have this matte black carbon fibre crown, which I think looks really smart. It's probably the one that suits my eye the best. And then with the RADSPEED XB and XD, it's a gloss finish, so a slightly different look. It's also a larger footprint, it's more drawn back, a little bit more almost triangular in shape out towards the rear of the golf club, and that's just going to help inspire some more confidence. But yeah, you know, 3-strong lineup, really impressive. Also, always worth mentioning, we've got COBRA Connect in these golf clubs, so that Power by Arcos just allows you to track your driver game that little bit more, let you know what you're doing right and wrong off the tee. But, you know, I think just a really strong lineup from COBRA, really impressive technology. Question is, how does it perform? So let's take a look at the numbers. Tested all 4 drivers earlier on today using my SkyTrack launch monitor with Pro V1 golf balls, all using the same shaft and all at 9 degrees of loft. I'll quickly run you through my speed zone numbers, and if you've seen any of my videos in the past, you'll see that these numbers are pretty solid across the board. Ball speed at 160 mark, launch angles nice and high, spin rates, yeah, there or thereabouts, pretty decent within that range, and the carry distance is round about 270 for a total just shy of 300. Yeah, really not bad numbers at all. It's a very cold day today, you know, got lots of layers on. I think maybe just struggling to get my ball speed up to my absolute maximum. But yeah, just solid numbers across the board. But my one qualm with the speed zone drivers, fantastic drivers for 2020, you know, 2 of the standout models, was that I just found them a little bit hard to control the spin. If I was getting that kind of low heely miss hit, I would see the spin rates climb quite a bit, and that just sacrificed a lot in terms of distance. That's my one tiny qualm with the speed zone drivers. When we then pull up the RADSPEED numbers, you'll see that those spin rates are dropping quite significantly with both models. And that's what they're designed to do, you know, that radial weighting, pushing more weight close to the face, getting that CG more in line with where COBRA want it. Just means that, yeah, I'm getting lower spin, getting a little bit more distance. The ball speed's up slightly as well. Yeah, you know, just having those radial weights, that weight further closer to the face, it's going to help produce more ball speed. But yeah, you know, launch angle's really good. As you can see with the RADSPEED, it's the lower spinning model, suits me that little bit better as I would expect. And then the RADSPEED XB, just, you know, spinning higher but still under 2,500, and that just means I'm getting really solid numbers with it as well. So I really, you know, I think as I expect, COBRA over the last 3 or 4 years have really been knocking out the park with their drivers. They've really stepped up their game. You know, from the speed back to the speed zone and now RADSPEED, you know, just fantastic performers. And really, I'm not surprised by those numbers whatsoever. Getting that little bit extra from the RADSPEED, and I think that is mainly down to the fact that that radial weighting technology just allows me to control the spin a little bit better with the driver. Now on to the most important thing, how I got on out in the golf course. And it'll come as a little surprise to you to learn I got on really well with the RADSPEED drivers. This model here, the standard RADSPEED, it was just offering absolutely everything I want and expect from COBRA. The ball speed was really good, launch conditions were spot on, really good levels of forgiveness, just a kind of penetrating ball flight I like to see with the driver. It was just, yeah, it was offering absolutely everything. I think COBRA drivers have been really good at that over the last few years, just being proper all-round performers for every type of golfer. With the XB, it was just that, you know, that super easy to hit feel, really high launching. You can really see that ball taking off, the club face soaring into the sky. The fact that it's got a slightly larger footprint as well is really going to help those of you who struggle with confidence off the tee. Just, you know, stand up there, give it a good smack and be confident that your driver's going to deliver in terms of both speed and forgiveness. Really just try and help you hit it a long way down the fairway. Plus, then we've got that XD model, so for those of you who struggle with a slice, that's probably the one that you would gravitate towards. I think in terms of looks, you know, when I first saw images of these drivers on my computer screen, I have to say I wasn't all that keen on this kind of neon lime green colourway. It looked a little bit too bold and brash, but once you get it out in your hands, out in the golf course, it looks really smart, and a COBRA driver at the end of the day should look a little bit bold. For me, I prefer the matte black carbon fibre crown of the standard model. It just suits my preferences. I also like the fact that the aerodynamic features on the crown are more subtle this time. They don't pop out quite as much. Some of you might gravitate towards that gloss black finish of the XB and the XD, so you know, you've got options there to choose from. I think the only thing, when I start to nitpick the areas that I'm not too keen on with this golf club, it comes down to something I didn't like with the Speed Zone too much last year, and it's the fact that the CNC milled face, it does come up onto the crown a wee bit. something I'm not used to seeing. It's just something that I've not got used to it yet. It's just not really to my taste. That's really, that's where I'm struggling. I'm beginning to nitpick. I think in terms of the sound and feel, my personal preference, it's just maybe a little bit loud for me. But again, I'm really starting to nitpick. Those are sort of the two really minor areas where I feel like the RADSPEED lets itself down. But other than that, yeah, really can't fault it in any way, shape or form. But as I said earlier in the video, there's one reason, probably above all else, why this driver is going to continue to keep COBRA so popular, and it's the price point. At £369 RRP, it's an absolute bargain. You're getting all-round performance, a great looking driver, great performing driver, and it's costing you, quite a bit less than some of the other options out there on the market just now. So the fact that COBRA have been able to keep that price point, pretty low at £369, yes, it's a lot of money, yes, it's a big investment, but comparatively, I think that's one of the reasons why COBRA have been so popular over the last few years, because they're producing really fantastic drivers and offering it at a great price. So that is probably one of, if not the key reason behind the fact that this driver's going to once again prove really popular for COBRA. So to sum up, 3 fantastic drivers from COBRA. They're delivering the goods once again, and if you're in the market for a new driver, then you certainly need to include RADSPEED in your testing, because as soon as you get this thing in your hands, you're bound to be impressed. Now, if you have any questions about the RADSPEED drivers, just leave them in the comments and I'll get back to you. Do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, and thank you very much for watching.